In a quiet corner of the galaxy, a tiny spaceship landed softly near a small human city. Inside the ship were 5 adorable alien cubs. They had fluffy ears, glowing eyes, and curious hearts. They came to Earth to explore human food. Their sensors detected a powerful and delicious smell nearby. The cubs looked at each other excitedly. Something amazing was waiting for them. The alien cubs carefully walked through the streets at night. Neon lights, cars, and restaurants amazed them. Their leader, Lumo, scanned the air again. The smell grew stronger. It was spicy, crispy, and warm. The cubs followed the scent like little detectives. Finally, they stopped in front of a bright fast food restaurant. A picture outside showed something called a Zinger Burger. The cubs pressed their tiny faces against the window. Inside, humans were happily eating burgers and fries. One human took a big bite of a Zinger Burger. The cubs' eyes widened. Crunch. The sound echoed in their sensitive ears. Lumo whispered, "That must be the legendary food our scanners found." Their tails wiggled with excitement and curiosity. Sneaking inside quietly, the cubs hid under a table. The smell of crispy chicken, soft buns, and spicy sauce filled the air. Their stomachs made tiny rumbling sounds. One cub, named ZZ, pointed at a tray someone left behind. On it was half of a Zinger Burger. The cubs looked at Lumo for permission. He nodded carefully. ZZ climbed onto the chair and grabbed the burger with both paws. It was almost as big as her head. The cubs gathered around. Slowly, ZZ took the first bite. Crunch. Her eyes sparkled instantly. "This is incredible," she whispered. The spicy chicken and soft bread tasted like magic. The other cubs couldn't wait anymore. ACH cub took a small bite. Instantly, their ears bounced happily. The crispy chicken, creamy sauce, and fresh lettuce created a flavor explosion. Their tiny alien bodies glowed slightly from happiness. "Human food is amazing," said Lumo. "Our planet has nothing like this." The cubs nodded quickly while chewing happily. Soon the burger was gone, but the cubs wanted more. They peeked at the menu board. Pictures of burgers, fries, and drinks covered the wall. ZZ pointed again at the Zinger Burger image. "That one," she said excitedly. The cubs decided their mission had changed. Now their mission was simple. Get another Zinger Burger. Lumo bravely walked to the counter while the others hid nearby. The cashier looked confused at the tiny glowing creature. Lumo placed shiny space coins on the counter. The cashier blinked but smiled. One Zinger Burger," he guessed. Lumo nodded happily. Moments later, a fresh hot burger was placed on the tray. The cubs carried the tray outside to a quiet park bench. Steam rose from the burger. The crispy chicken smelled even better than before. They all sat in a circle like a tiny family picnic. Lumo carefully cut the burger into pieces with a laser claw so everyone could share equally. When they tasted the fresh burger, their joy doubled. The crunch was louder, the spice stronger, and the sauce richer. The cubs laughed and rolled happily on the bench. One cub accidentally let out a tiny sparkle of alien energy. Fireflies nearby glowed brighter as if celebrating with them. After finishing their second burger, the alien cubs leaned back on the park bench happily. Their tiny bellies were full, and their glowing eyes sparkled in the night. Lumo checked the scanner again. It showed many more Zinger Burgers inside the restaurant. The cubs looked at each other with excitement. "Maybe humans won't mind if we enjoy a few more," ZZ whispered playfully. The cubs returned quietly to the restaurant. This time they felt braver. They watched humans ordering food and tried to copy them. Lumo stepped forward again and pointed at the menu picture. "Zinger Burger," he said slowly. The cashier laughed kindly and prepared another burger. The cubs clapped their tiny paws happily while waiting near the counter. The hot burger arrived wrapped in bright paper. Steam rose gently into the air. The cubs carried it carefully outside again. Sitting under a streetlight, they opened the wrapper. The smell made their ears twitch with excitement. Lumo divided the burger into pieces again. Everyone took a bite at the same time and smiled widely. A human child walking with his father noticed the tiny glowing cubs eating burgers. Instead of being scared, he laughed softly. "Dad, look! Cute creatures eating burgers." The father blinked in surprise, but smiled. The cubs waved shyly. The child gave them a thumbs up. Somehow the moment felt friendly and warm for everyone. The cubs felt happy that humans were kind. ZZ jumped excitedly. "Humans are amazing. They make Zinger Burgers, and they share kindness." Lumo nodded proudly. "Maybe this is why their food tastes so good," he said. The cubs agreed. They decided to study human cooking so they could bring these wonderful flavors back home. Inside their small spaceship nearby, the cubs recorded everything. They scanned the burger wrapper, the crispy chicken crumbs, and even the smell particles. Their computers stored the recipe clues carefully. The cubs imagined their families tasting Zinger burgers on their distant planet. Everyone would be amazed. Suddenly, one cub named Pico had an idea. "What if we bring real burgers back?" he suggested. The cubs gasped. That sounded perfect. Lumo checked the spaceship storage. There was enough space for many burgers. The mission changed again. Now they needed to collect delicious Zinger burgers for their planet. Back at the restaurant, the cubs worked together. They used their shiny space coins again and again. The cashier was surprised but amused. Soon a small stack of burger boxes sat on the counter. The cubs carefully carried them toward their spaceship like tiny workers carrying treasure. Inside the ship, the smell of burgers filled the cabin. The cubs giggled with joy. Zizi opened one box and took another bite. "Just to check freshness," she said with a grin. The others laughed and joined her. Even on an important mission, the burgers were simply too delicious to ignore. Their spaceship computer finally beeped. "Food samples secured," the robot voice said. Lumo looked proudly at his team. "Great work, explorers," he said. Outside, the stars shined brightly above the quiet city. The cubs knew their adventure was becoming one of the happiest missions they had ever experienced. Before leaving Earth, the cubs wanted one last picnic. They sat again on the same park bench where their adventure began. Each cub held a piece of Zinger burger. The night breeze moved gently through the trees. The cubs cheered together before taking a big bite. The flavors were still perfect. Crispy chicken, soft bun, spicy sauce, and fresh lettuce blended like magic. Their tiny tails wagged happily. Lumo recorded a message for their home planet. Human food discovery, Zinger Burger. Rating, Galaxy level delicious. He announced proudly that as they prepared to leave, the friendly human child appeared again with his father. He waved excitedly at the alien cubs. The cubs waved back. Zizi handed the boy a small, glowing alien sticker as a gift. The child smiled brightly. It was a peaceful goodbye. The cubs entered their spaceship with their boxes of burgers. Engines hummed softly as blue lights filled the cabin. Outside, the city looked calm and sleepy. Lumo sat in the pilot seat and started the launch system. The cubs fastened their tiny belts and held their burger boxes tightly. With a soft whoosh, the spaceship lifted quietly into the sky. The cubs watched Earth growing smaller through the window. Zizi took another bite of burger and sighed happily. "Best trip ever," she said. The others agreed immediately. During the journey through space, the cubs carefully preserved the burgers using alien freezing technology. The boxes floated gently inside the storage chamber. Every few hours, the cubs checked them like precious treasures. The smell still made them hungry. Finally, their colorful home planet appeared in the distance. Mountains glowed softly, and crystal rivers sparkled under twin suns. The cubs cheered loudly. Soon their families would learn about Earth's incredible Zinger Burger. When the spaceship landed, many alien families gathered around curiously. The cubs jumped out excitedly. "We discovered amazing human food," they announced proudly. Everyone looked confused but interested. The cubs opened the burger boxes slowly. The smell spread through the air. Alien parents sniffed curiously. "What is this wonderful scent?" one asked. Lumo smiled proudly. Zizi gave the first burger piece to an elder alien. He took a cautious bite. Suddenly his eyes widened in shock. "This is incredible," he shouted. The crowd gasped with excitement. Soon everyone wanted to taste the strange food from Earth. The alien cubs carefully shared pieces of the Zinger Burger with their families and neighbors. Each alien took a bite slowly. First there was silence, then suddenly smiles spread everywhere. The crispy chicken and spicy flavor amazed them. Laughter filled the village as more aliens asked for another bite of the wonderful human burger. The alien scientists quickly gathered around with their scanners. They carefully studied the burger crumbs and the sauce. "Amazing," one scientist said. "Humans combine flavor, texture, and heat perfectly." While scanning the food, they secretly took small bites too. Even serious scientists could not resist the crispy taste. They agreed that Earth cooking was a fascinating discovery worth studying further. Young alien cubs surrounded Lumo and his explorer team. Their eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Tell us about Earth," they begged excitedly. Lumo happily described bright city lights, friendly humans, and the wonderful restaurant where they found the Zinger Burger. Zizi explained the crunchy sound of the first bite. The little cubs listened like it was the greatest adventure story ever told. Soon the leaders of the alien village held an important meeting. After hearing the explorer's story, they made a big decision. "We must learn this human cooking," the chief announced proudly. "Our planet deserves to enjoy this amazing burger." The crowd cheered loudly. The small alien cubs felt proud because their discovery was about to change their whole planet. Alien chefs began experimenting in the village kitchen. They tried to copy the Zinger Burger using local ingredients. Some attempts were too spicy, others were too soft. The cubs helped guide them by describing the crunchy chicken and creamy sauce. After many funny cooking mistakes, the chefs slowly started getting closer to the real taste from Earth. Finally, one chef proudly presented a new burger creation. It looked very similar to the Earth Zinger Burger. Everyone gathered around nervously. Lumo took the first bite. Crunch. His ears bounced happily. "Yes, this tastes almost the same," he shouted. The crowd cheered loudly as more aliens rushed forward to taste the delicious new burger. That night, the entire alien village celebrated with glowing lights and music. Burgers were cooked everywhere. Families laughed while sharing the new recipe. The cubs danced happily under the stars while holding tiny burgers in their paws. Their adventure had brought joy to everyone. Even the elders admitted it was the tastiest food their planet had ever known. News about the Earth Burger discovery quickly spread across nearby planets. Alien travelers became curious about this strange human food. Messages arrived asking about the recipe and the story behind it. The small cub explorers suddenly became famous across their galaxy for discovering the legendary Zinger Burger. Later that night, Lumo sat quietly looking up at the stars. Earth shined faintly in the distance. Zizi joined him with a small burger snack. "We should visit Earth again someday," she said softly. Lumo smiled. "Yes, there might be many more delicious human foods waiting for us." And so the tiny alien cubs became heroes of flavor across their world. Their brave little trip proved something wonderful. Curiosity can lead to amazing discoveries. From a small restaurant on Earth to an entire alien planet, the crispy Zinger Burger created happiness everywhere. And the cubs knew their next adventure would be even bigger. Alien hamburger sparkles.